Welcome back to another week in the workshop. Now on this episode, we're working on building up this gigantic drivetrain, all ready to be slung into Greg's soon-to-be Cummins swapped Land Rover Defender. First job of the day is to carry on building this engine up. So we've got these engine mount plates, which bolt on there and the same the other side, and they form the start of our engine mounts, and then these will weld onto them. We'll get them on because when we go to put it in the truck, we can then bolt these on to the engine mounts in the truck on the chassis, and we can tack them in place. We've also got the clutch there to go on, so we've got the correct bolts for that now. That's in there. We'll put that on. The alternator, we've got to make up a top mount for that, and I've had to modify that bottom, or I've begun modifying that lower mount because it didn't fit, which is good news. And then we've got all the belt and idler and all that stuff to go on. But first things first, let's crack on, get these mounts on, get the clutch on, obviously got the turbo to go on, get this engine fully built up, ready to go in the truck, and we'll also bolt that gearbox up to it. Right, the turbo's now on and bolted up. I'll put this little adapter here. So this is the oil feed for the turbo, and it takes its oil feed from there. That's like a M12 by 1.5, I believe, on the turbo end, and then it's a -4 or 4AN on that end. And we've got this little 90 to go in here, and this is the high pressure sort of Teflon hose, not standard -4 line. So we'll make up a little feed there, and then we've also got to work out a drain, so the oil's got to come out there and go back into that fitting there. That swivels around. What we might do for the minute is just put the drain on it, but not make any of the pipe work up yet, because I don't know where the engine mounts are going to sit, and that is going to affect where the drain runs. There she is, sports fans. Bloody lovely. Now in the last video on this build, you saw us start modifying this transfer box, and we were missing a couple of bits at the time. So although it's reassembled, it's not fully back together. It's got to come apart again because we've got a new high-low shift fork for it now, which is not worn out, which will be better. We were in fact missing a seal, so that seal is meant to go in there on that input shaft, on that input gear, and that will stop the oil falling out, which would be good. Now this is the little spacer we were missing. So on the input gear there's two tapered roller bearings, and they are too close to each other at the moment, so that's got to go in behind one of the bearings to stop that from happening. And because of that, we've got to pull one of the new bearings off, so I've bought another bearing just in case we damage it. And this is a shim kit from Ashcroft for the rest of the bearings in the transfer case, so we can measure everything and shim everything properly. Leo's going to crack on with that. Then once that's back together, we can get it attached to that gearbox with the adapter plate. Right, so I'm now working on getting this alternator mounted, and we've got this bracket that's come in the kit, but unfortunately, for some reason, the same as the one we had on the limo, the alternator doesn't fit. Now on the limo, what we did was ground down the casting of the alternator instead of modifying the bracket, but that means that if you go to change the alternator, you've got to grind down the alternator again. So on this build, what we're going to do is modify the bracket. So I've already cut the back mount off, and using a straight edge here, we can put this like this, and this is how far it is off currently, with it straight like that. So the alternator's got to come forward a fair amount. So we're now going to cut the front mount off, and then we will modify the bracket, weld it all back on, repaint it. We'll do that at a later date when we paint everything else. But yes, step we didn't think we'd have to do, but one that's rather important. Right, so I've got this rear bracket tacked back on, and pretty well square. When we weld it properly, we'll pull it off first so we can get all the way around it. What I'm going to do now is bolt the alternator back onto that rear bracket, check where the alignment is, see how far out we are or far in we are, and then we can tack on the front bracket. That is pretty well spot on there. So what we can do now is I'm just going to flip this round, and then we'll have to make up a little spacer to go in between that edge and that edge, and then we'll tack that all together, take it off and weld it up on the bench. Alright, that's all welded together, so we'll chuck it on now and see if it works. Right, well that all fits and lines up, but we need to make up a top bracket here to go from here to the block to stop that swinging around. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Right, so this is phase one. I've just cut and bent this piece of steel in the vise. I'm now going to cut this to length and drill some holes in it. What we will then do is make up a stiffening plate to weld along the top, because this is all rather flippy floppy at the moment. Right, that's that bit complete, all bolted up. Now what we need is a stiffener, because this is all flippy floppy. So what we're going to use is this little offcut we had earlier, and that will go on something like that, a lot more shapely, and then we'll tack that in place on the job, and that will give us a bit more stiffness. Right, this is a somewhat finished product. It'll want a bit more fettling and then a damn good painting. But for now, we shall bolt that on like that, and we'll see how it looks. Oh yeah, absolutely splendid. Let's release the tension. There we go. Right, why have I got an extension on? This is just ridiculous. Look at that. Toit. Okay, so we're now going to start work on the gearbox. First thing we want to do is get this gearbox bolted up to the engine. Now we've got a new release bearing here, so that's going to replace this one on here. That's the bit that pushes on that centre of the clutch and lets it on and off, lets the spring pressure on and off on the pressure plate. So we'll change that, bolt this up to the engine, and then we've got our new shift turret to go on here. So that replaces the one that's on here and allows you to put a gear stick straight on the end of it. When these are in the lorry, obviously you sit somewhere over here, so you don't need a gear stick going right at the top of the gearbox because you wouldn't be able to reach it. So that allows us to fit it in a Land Rover. And then we've got this adapter plate, which is going to bolt onto the back of the gearbox here, and then allow the transfer case, which is over there, to bolt onto this. To do that, we've got to take this output flange off, and we've got this is the speedo sensor for the lorry. We've got to cut this down and make a bit of a bung out of it, and I think we've got to shave this housing here down as well, but we'll get to that later on.
Oh yeah.
I get this one a little bit more tougher, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The answer is
Oh yeah.
All right, so this is the old shift turret, and this is the bit that actually goes in and changes all the gears for you. So that goes into that little bit there and moves it forwards and backwards and allows you to change gear. And this is the new one, which has got a similar setup on it. And as you move your gear stick, that sort of moves around left and right and forwards and backwards. Yeah, so this is the bit that stops you going into reverse from fifth. And the old gear change actuator has this little lump on it, which sort of hits here or hits here depending on where that's gone, where you've started. But unfortunately the new one doesn't have it, and it won't fit with this roll pin. It won't go on, so we have to remove that, which is a bit of a shame, but just got to be a little bit careful when you're going from fifth back down through. Right, this is quite annoying. I got the ident out of the old shifter, and I'm trying to put it into this new one that came with the kit, and it's got to slide up through that hole there into the top of this turret. And if you look, that has not been cut in the right place, that cutout, so it won't slide up through tried slackening the bolts off and twisting it, but that doesn't work either. So we're going to have to cut a little bit more out of here on this side, but then we've still got to somehow make sure it all seals and oil doesn't go everywhere. I managed to find a bit of a way around it. I slackened all these bolts off and just pushed this ident through with these bolts loose. You can see now that the screws don't line up with the threaded holes, but what I would do is I've got this rear one in, and these ones I'm just going to drill out and put a nut on the other side of. I've checked there's enough room in the gearbox to do that. It's not the nicest thing, but it will work. So fixed. Right, that shift turret's all on there now, so I'm going to take off this rear output flange and the speedo drive, and then we'll try and get the adapt plate bolted up to the back of the box. That's down. Right, so we've got the speedo drive out there, which goes in that hole down there, and the adapt plate sort of resting in place. What we've got to do is trim this housing back to be flush with the face of the adapt plate, and we're going to turn this into a bung, so we'll probably cut the end off there so it fits down inside of that adapt plate there, but stops the oil coming out. We don't need that anymore because we'll use the speedo drive on the transfer box. First things first, we're going to tap all these threads out, clean everything up here, then we'll have a look at bolting it up. So we're now going to trim this housing down, so it's got to be flush with this plate with it all bolted up. You can either do this with a grinder, it says, or you can machine it back. I don't want to do it with a grinder. I can't machine it back, so what I'm going to do is just use a hacksaw like that, and we should get it nice and flush, and we can also always tickle it up with a sanding disc after. Right, that's that all cut off. Nice and flush. Did that all with my bare hands. Right, we're just trying to get this on here. We've just had to take a number of bolts out the bottom there to get it to clear. We've got to countersink those later and put countersink bolts in it. We're just struggling at the moment because the high-low selector is hitting the adapt plate, so I think we've got to take this unit off, get it all on, and then bolt it back up. It's 10 times. Okay, so it's kind of on, not quite bolted up, but that doesn't look like that's going to work, does it? No. Have to do a bit of modification there, I think. Right, I've just cut that linkage off there and snugged that all back up. We've now got this extra little brace that goes on the top here. Like this, like that. That bit goes like that, bolts on with those bolts there. And then this bit goes on here, welds onto the adapt plate, and then we've got these bolts and spacers that bolt these two bits together. And that's just to give this a bit of extra strength because it's only really supported at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is bolt this bit on, take these bolts out, and then bolt this all together, and then we'll weld it up to that adapt plate. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. As you can see, the Cummins Land Rover drivetrain is somewhat finished. We're still waiting on a couple of bits, so it's got to come back apart again. At least the transfer case has got to come off. We've got to get another seal in the back end of that gearbox, and we've got to finish off welding up and painting up the rest of our brackets. But this gets us to a stage now where we can start slinging it in the truck. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. We're going to lift this big lump up, we're going to pull the truck out, get it all cleaned off, get it prepped, and then start slinging it in, making upper engine mounts, get it all welded in nicely, and then we'll be on to plumbing it up, putting it all back together, getting all our control systems, our throttle cable, our wiring, all the other fun bits finished off. And soon, we'll be driving it.